Yeah, sure. So my name is Nikki or Nicole LoBiondo. I graduated in 2019 from Penn State, and I work at AccuWeather. I've been working there ever since. So I've been working there for about 3 years now. I'm an operational meteorologist, and I do all sorts of like schedules and shifts through AccuWeather. Um, I'm also part of like the center region, and uh, like AMS chapter and stuff like that too. So I participate. I just did like a speed mentoring program with them at Penn State the other week, and I do other things and try to be involved as much as possible with Penn State. But at this point, like what Kevin was just saying, like I graduated when he came in, so now I feel like I'm old news when it comes to knowing you guys at Penn State, but hopefully I can still connect with you guys. I'm gonna share my screen here. Oh yeah.
I think it's about that.
You're fine, no worries. All right. So welcome to the Ken Reeves weather briefing here. It is April 25th, 2022. And like I said, I'm Nikki LoBiondo or Nicole. And here we go. The picture in the background is actually right outside my house. I live in the Milheim area, which is in Eastern Center County. And this was last week when we got about 3 inches of snowfall. I am a huge snow lover. You can ask anybody who knows me in the meteorology program. So I was having a heyday at our last gasp of winter last week. So just to start off with some state college weather, I wanted to go through like the climatology for this time of year, especially for today, the 25th. On average, our high is around 64 degrees and our low is around 43 degrees. But the forecast today is with a high of 74 and a low of 53. So we are above average today. We're prefrontal, so that makes sense. We're kind of in a sweet spot right now between fronts and a backdoor cold front off to our east. Which I'll get into more when I go over like our current weather. I wanted to also note that UNV recorded 81 degrees yesterday. So talk about like late springtime weather. The last time we were in the 80s here in State College was September 18th, which it was 84 degrees. So it's very reminiscent of the end of summer. Climatologically, just to go through like where we are, like, you know, where will we be in a few weeks or where will we be in a month, like average wise. So 1 week from today, our average high will be 66. And then on the 26th of May, 1 month from today, it'll be, you know, around 72 for an average high. So things are on the uptick here as we get out of winter and get really into spring. But I will also note that sometimes that there are measurable snowfalls that happened in May in State College. In 2020, there was a trace of snow recorded on May 8th and May 9th. And in 2021, there was a trace of snow recorded on the 9th. So that time period over the past 2 years, there's still hope for you winter lovers out there to see some cold weather and some snow. But on average, in the month of April, the State College area only sees about an inch of snowfall. So that snowfall that we had last week was super anomalous for this time of year. We had 3.3 inches recorded at the University Park Airport at that time last week. So, and just for a few little extra tidbits, one of our past records, our maximum temperature was 90 degrees. That was a historic day in 1915, and a historic minimum was recorded in 1919 with a low of 17. So we are far from those records for today. But just to kind of, so at AccuWeather, I produce a lot of these like graphics that we use for like our website and for our like network and other, you know, media content. So here is kind of a snapshot of today. I know it's like 1:30, so this is like kind of just going on right now. So we're in between two boundaries, really. A cold front off to our west is producing showers and thunderstorms, and we'll advance as we go through the remainder of the day today and into State College by tonight. But there's also a backdoor cold front that's chilling out right on the eastern seaboard, that's keeping New York, Boston, Bangor, Maine, really cool. And if you've seen a satellite image today, you can see the low clouds that are engulfing much of eastern Pennsylvania, but it's sunny and warm here in State College. So, and to extend off of that front that's draped over a lot of the Great Lakes area, it's also going down into central Texas, which is going to be producing some drenching thunderstorms across the southern Ohio Valley and into the Mississippi Delta. So there's a flash flood risk and travel disruptions expected with that, and also locally severe storms could pop. SPC isn't really highlighting anything too crazy. Like yesterday, there was a marginal risk or an enhanced risk, I should say, down in like central Texas and also up into the mitten of Michigan. But today, just more of your run-of-the-mill spring thunderstorms. And back behind this front, it's actually quite chilly for this time of year in places like Minnesota, the Dakotas, and some of the upper Midwest. High temperatures are around 15 to 25 degrees below normal for this time of year. And then unseasonably cold temperatures will also emanate from that as the trough continues to dig down into the center of the country behind the cold front. So that's kind of like a snapshot of kind of what's going on in like the eastern portion of the country. This is kind of also like a surface analysis map here that I took. I don't think it's the most up-to-date one. It's from 0Z, but regardless, it kind of just still tells the story of those maps that I was showing earlier, with the cold front off to our west, backdoor cold front with a onshore flow off to our east. And I think I have some hyperlinks here. So this is kind of like the radar of what's going on right now across the eastern US, and you can see those showers and thunderstorms extending all the way down into the south central and progressing into the Great Lakes area with some pretty intense looking downpours across near like Cedar Point area and like northern Ohio. So the wet weather will come our way as we go into the rest of the evening here. And I also wanted to open up this hyperlink to just show what the current temperatures are like across the Commonwealth today. Because it's quite interesting how things are set up today, because it's not a usual temperature setup. Usually it's colder in the northwest of Pennsylvania and it's like warmer in the southeast. But today it's actually the complete opposite, where hopefully this will load, yeah, where it's actually in the 50s down like in the Philadelphia area, and it's like in the 60s here in State College, and it's like in the 80s in southwestern PA. So that just goes to show we're kind of in the sweet spot here in State College area, but off to our west it's even warmer than it is here right now. We might have a little bit of a modified marine air mass that's over us right now that's keeping us a little bit cooler than our counterparts farther west, but just a really interesting weather setup, to be honest. And I wanted to also show that satellite image that I was talking about. That is the wrong cod. And so like here we go. We have Atlantic moisture sticking around here in like the Jersey area, New York, keeping them socked in the clouds for most of the day. And then you have that front off to our west here. So it's really quite an interesting satellite loop as we go into the rest of the afternoon here. It's also a pretty good line of thunderstorms moving across the Mississippi Valley and into actual Mississippi and Louisiana right now as well, with that cold front pushing west or east, I should say. All right, so I guess I'll kind of move into more of like the forecast of like what it's going to be like here in State College over the next few days. There is going to be a change in the pattern coming from this warmth. So for you warmth lovers, unfortunately, it's not going to last too long. It's going to be more March-like as we head into the middle of the week here. but you know, spring will always be reprived. So don't worry, by the weekend, I think things will come back to the way they quote unquote should be for this time of year. So just taking a look at a quick map here. This is our Tuesday snapshot here. As that frontal system moves through, like I said, like the western or the eastern Great Lakes and into central Pennsylvania tonight, this is kind of where it's going to be tomorrow during the day on Tuesday. Thunderstorms are mainly going to be to our south in like the Delmarva area, with showers just extending along that boundary as low pressure moves through the northeast. But it's going to be much cooler behind this front. And there might even be some rain and snow showers across the upper portions of lower Michigan and upper Michigan as well, or the UP. So a little bit of a snapshot of winter for them up there as snow mixes in with rain. But as we go into midweek, there is going to be a pretty decent dip in the trough or in the jet stream to create a trough across much of the Great Lakes and into the northeast. High afternoon high temperatures by midweek, so by Wednesday, are going to be 20 to 40 degrees lower than they were yesterday. So like I said, yesterday, the high was 82 here in State College. So expect high temperatures by midweek to be, 20 to 40 degrees lower than that. And also there might even be, with a northwest flow coming off of the Great Lakes, it's going to be a cold breeze or chilly breeze, I should say. There will be some spotty rain and snow showers as well across like interior Pennsylvania and even up into like the ski country in like southern New York here in like the Finger Lakes area. And so here's our Wednesday morning snapshot. The models last week were kind of really hinting at a coastal storm kind of developing in the northeast that would have brought more rain and maybe even some more mixing of rain and snow to the interior portions of the northeast. But things are looking a little bit on the drier side, meaning like more showery activity, not really anything too crazy. Cold temperatures will still be the story, but some mix of any kind of precipitation that's left over from the system as it exits into like Nova Scotia. There may be some rain and snow showers across the mountainous areas of central Pennsylvania, like the Laurel Highlands. And then, like I said, up into like southern New York and around the Lake Ontario and Lake Erie area. Mainly just rain though up in like Canada, and like some showery activity in southern New England and like Boston and the Cape. So this air mass is going to be pretty chilly. That's going to be coming in here midweek. This is kind of our frost freeze risk that we put out today. These are the early AM forecast lows for Thursday morning. So if you have classes, I know it's getting to be finals week soon, but if you're going to classes Thursday morning, it's going to be quite chilly, so please bring a coat. But so we have lows in the 30s, probably here and around State College. But if you were to go just to our west, the Allegheny Plateau, lows are going to be in like the 20s. So when we wake up in the morning, so it's going to be kind of reminiscent of a March morning here in central Pennsylvania. So before I get into like what the official like quote unquote forecast that I have is, let me just take a look at, or let us take a look together at just some dynamics here. So first I'm just going to go through like the jet stream pattern. So today we have that really crazy jet streak across the Great Lakes area. So that's where our front is. And that's where all the jet dynamics are going to be, just, out ahead of that in like the in the right exit region, as we know from dynamics. And then as we go into Tuesday, like I said, that front is now moving. You would suspect, let me just make sure I'm on the right one. You would suspect the low pressure to be right about here, and that's kind of where it was on our map that we showed earlier. So as that jet continues to push east, the wet weather will go with it. And behind it, high pressure will build in. But by Wednesday, you see that trough still sticking around here, and that's what's going to bring those colder than average temperatures to our area. And that jet is still going to be dipped here as we go into Thursday. But temperatures should be on the rebound here as we go into Friday, because the heights are going to continue to try and build or the, the ridge it's building in the north central will try and progress farther north or farther east. And then that shouldn't mean that we're on the rebound for temperatures as we go into late week and into the weekend. And just kind of also looking at the vorticity here, and this is at the 500 millibar height level. I'm just going to go back to today. We can see that vortmax kind of going across the Great Lakes. And that's going to be the producer of like a lot of those showers and thunderstorms. And then that vortmax continues to move farther east as we go into Tuesday. And really intense vorticity lobe developing over the eastern Great Lakes. And like I said, there was going to be that like kind of rain and snow activity around like the Marquette area and into lower Michigan. So this is kind of the energy that's going to be feeding off of, and why, it's going to be able to sustain itself with rain and snow showers as we go into Tuesday night across that area. So here comes our trough digging in. That coastal low, quote unquote, is going to be developing right off the coast here, but it's going to keep, it's going to push that farther into Nova Scotia. But then there is going to be some upper level energy or upper level support for there to be showers in the interior. And if the air temperature is cold enough, then we're going to have that mix of rain and snow as well. And then by Thursday, we can see that jet is trying to exit here. And then we're going more of into a ridging pattern as we go into late week. Moisture at the mid levels at 700. It's going to be moist at that level as we go through tonight and into tomorrow across Pennsylvania and into the Northeast with that front coming through, and things kind of dry out a little bit before that area of vorticity moves over the Great Lakes and does bring some moisture to the interior Northeast. And things seem to dry out a lot at the mid levels by Thursday here locally. And so that would mean for probably not so wet day. So a little bit of a drying pattern there. And this is kind of what the end of the week looks like from the mean sea level pressure level. So like I said, by Wednesday, we do have those little tiny areas of like precipitation. This is the Euro, by the way, that will be coming off of the Great Lakes area and be feeding off of that vorticity lobe. But as we go into Thursday, these heights still low across much of the Northeast, but temperatures likely on the rebound in the Ohio Valley and into southwestern Pennsylvania. The trough seems like it's going to be slow to exit, but each day up until the weekend should get warmer as we head in to the weekend. And as you can see here, the Euro is kind of showing a dynamic system forming by the weekend. This could be our next time for severe weather across some of the south central and into like Missouri area. So we're watching that for right now, but just waiting for more model data to come in to really put out, or hone in on a really on a severe area for now. So that's kind of the gist of like what's going to be happening here locally. So looks like we're going to be not as warm today as we were yesterday, but still above average because we're prefrontal, about 10 degrees above normal with a high of 74. Winds are from the southeast, which isn't really that surprising. That easterly component, though, makes me believe that we do have a modified marine layer over us at this point in time. So that's why our temperatures aren't going into like the 80s today as they did yesterday. And winds are going to be light today, around 4 to 8 miles per hour. Rain is expected to move into the region tonight, though, with a low of 53, but still above average for this time of year. And then tomorrow it's going to be cooler with a high of only 59. Little rain early in the morning, it seems like, and then drying out as the front moves east by the afternoon and high pressure moves into the area. By Wednesday, it's going to be even cooler with a high of 44. And it's going to be mostly cloudy, breezy, and a passing shower or two. So it sounds like a state college, like a normal state college day. So, and then by Thursday and into Friday and Saturday, like I was saying earlier, temperatures are going to be on the uptick a little bit. So Thursday, high of 50. Friday and Saturday, highs in the mid to upper 50s. So as we get later into the week, those temperatures do rebound quite a bit. So now that I've talked about like the local forecast, there's not really too much happening. It's like, run of the mill showers and thunderstorms tonight and then a cool down. Like it just, everything seems kind of like, what you would expect. But I just wanted to go into something that, maybe some of you haven't been looking at over the past couple days, but there's actually a really big wildfire scenario going on right now in like Arizona and New Mexico. It is kind of early for the fire season to start, but these areas have been in a severe drought for most of the winter. They've seen little rain, and so these three fires are really wreaking havoc on like the Flagstaff area, one near Prescott, Arizona, and another one out near Santa Fe, New Mexico. And unfortunately, there isn't much relief in the forecast for these areas. It's going to continue to be warm, unseasonably warm, I should say, and breezy across these areas as the jet. There's going to be a slight dip in the jet in Northern California, but it seems like the ridging is going to really take hold in like the Four Corners area and even into SoCal as well in like the desert region. So it's going to remain dry. The drought is expected to worsen, and the virus is still going to be rather elevated across these regions. And it's also interesting to note as well, it seems like the wind direction at the surface is going to be changing each day. Like sometimes it'll come from the east or sometimes it'll come from the west, depending on which day this week. So that's actually not really that good for firefighters in the area, because with ever changing wind directions and a continuous breeze going, it's really hard to control or know where fires are going to be going. So something we don't have to worry about here in central Pennsylvania very much are wildfires. But down in like the Southwest, this is something that they, are always on alert for. Just to show, this is the Drought Monitor for the West. A pretty decent drought in the San Joaquin Valley here in central California, and with an extreme drought in the red, extreme drought down into like Lake Havasu area and like Las Vegas area, and then also extreme drought across most of New Mexico. So that's kind of like the situation down that area. I was going to go through like the setup down there, but it's pretty much just a lot of bridging going on and a lot of dry air aloft in like the mid and in the lower levels. I just wanted to also just show real quick like the 850 millibar temperatures. So it's going to be pretty warm at the 850 level, and this is at 6Z on the 27th. So this is like the 27th would be on Wednesday or early Wednesday morning. So, they're already pretty warm, the 850 temps Wednesday morning, and then they get even warmer, especially over like New Mexico area by the afternoon on Wednesday. So, I mean on Thursday, my apologies. Yeah, Wednesday. But yeah, so not really getting any better there across the West. And I wanted to show like the ever-changing wind direction. So this is for the 27th, they're coming from the Southwest. And then by in the afternoon on the 27th, they have a more southerly component to them. And then they come to be more gusty by the evening hours. And it seems like the wind direction back in like in New Mexico is changing to more of a southerly component too. So it's like a change of west to south wind directions. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I had today. Thanks for listening. Do you guys have any like questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, if anybody has anything, feel free to put it in the Q&A. I think everybody should be able to type in that. Obviously can't have chat anymore after certain things. But yeah, if anybody has anything, I'll just say I'm a little upset about Wednesday. I'm kind of over it. I like snow, but it has a time of the year and it's not April. So that's just how I feel about it. And I, especially after getting teased on Sunday, kind of a slap in the face.
You shouldn't live in central Pennsylvania then. I'm just kidding.
That's I do have myself to blame for this.
Yes, it's true.
So I don't know if you saw what Marissa said.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Marissa.
Also,
Everything is great
I,
here.
did I miss your picture of Bill?
Oh yeah. I don't think I got it online before I started. Give me 1 second. Maybe it uploaded to my Slack. Yeah, if you guys hang around for one more second, you'll see a nice picture of Bill. Just 1 second.